Hi guys, good morning. In the previous class, we have completed the structure of alimentary canal, digestive glands, and the process of digestion. Today's class, we are going to discuss about the process of absorption, because the process of digestion is completed in the small intestine. After completion of the digestion, the simple molecules can be taken into the circulatory system of the human being. That process is technically called as absorption. Here absorption takes place various locations of the digestive system. Let us have a briefing of absorption in various locations of alimentary canal. Come on, please. First of all, we discuss about mouth. Even in the mouth also the process of absorption takes place. Certain heart related drugs can be absorbed in the mucus of the buccal cavity below the tongue into the capillaries. Suppose there is some emergency related to the heart problem, you might have noticed certain drugs kept below the tongue in the mouth. Okay, from that mucosa the drug is absorbed into the capillaries of buccal cavity. Like that, in the mouth also the process of absorption takes place of certain drugs. The next one is the stomach. In the stomach, water as well as alcohol, some simple sugars can be absorbed into the blood circulation from the mucosa of the stomach. Means in the stomach also absorption takes place. It is water, simple sugars and alcohols. Okay, means alcohol's absorption takes place in the stomach. Next, small intestine. The major part of the absorption is small intestine. Major part of the absorption is small intestine, because in the small intestine only you can see all the end products of the carbohydrates, proteins and fats also. So the major part of the absorption takes place in the small intestine. Here carbohydrate end products like glucose, fructose, galactose. End products of the proteins, amino acids. End products of the fats, fatty acids and glycerols also absorption takes place into the blood as well as lymph in the small intestine. Afterwards, large intestine. Large intestine is not having villi and microvilli structures. So it is not a major part of nutrient absorption. But whereas in the large intestine, some amount of the water, not complete water, some amount of the water along with minerals and drugs absorption takes place into the blood. In the large intestine, water, certain minerals and some drugs can be absorbed into the blood. So this is the briefing of absorption in the various locations in the mouth, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Have a look. Come on. Next, we are discussing about in detailed process of absorption. The small intestine basically having three locations. They are duodenum, jejunum, ileum. What are they? Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. In the duodenum, most of the digestive juices are present, like bile juice, pancreatic juice, as well as intestinal juices also there. So, in the duodenum, what happens? The process of breakdown of biomacromolecules into simple molecules takes place. The breakdown of biomacromolecules into simple forms started, breakdown of this molecule started in duodenum only. After breakdown, the simple substances are enters into jejunum and ileum. In the jejunum and ileum, the walls of the small intestine are having villi as well as microvilli. Villi are finger-like structures. Microvilli are bread-border structures of the columnar epithelium. This villi and microvilli together increases absorption surface. The villi and microvilli together increases absorption surface. Here villi is richly supplied with arteries, veins and lacteals. Arteries, veins and lacteals. Why? Because the carbohydrates, proteins absorption takes place into the blood only directly, but whereas the absorption of fatty acids does not takes place into the blood, they can be taken into the lymph. The opening of the lymphatic ducts in the villi are called as lacteals. The lacteals are separate openings for the absorption of fatty acids from lymphatic ducts. Okay guys, right, please, come on. Here we discuss about the pathway of absorbed food. Suppose the end products, whatever it is, glucose, galactose, fructose, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerols may present in the lumen of the small intestine. From the lumen, they have taken into the mucosal epithelium of small intestine. Okay, the end products of foodstuffs can be taken into the mucosal cells of small intestine. From the mucosal cells, they can be taken into the blood as well as lymph. Like that, this is the pathway. Lumen of the small intestine to mucosal cells to blood and lymph. Suppose, already we have discussed in the previous slide, glucose, galactose, fructose, amino acids, waters are absorbed into the blood. Whereas the fatty acids or glycerols are cannot be absorbed into the blood as they are present in the larger size. That's why they have opens into the lymphatic ducts, separate ducts, they are called as lacteals. Through the lacteals, the fatty acids and glycerols are absorbed into the lymph. Okay, have a look please. Come on. Next, the methods of absorption means transportation from the lumen of the small intestine to the circulatory system. Here are mainly four types of transportation takes place. They are passive transport, active transport, facilitated transport and osmosis. Right guys? Here four methodologies of transportation takes place. They are passive transport, active transport, facilitated transport and finally osmosis. Okay? In detail, please. Come on. Passive transport. The passive transport. What is a passive transport? The passage of the end products from from the small intestine to mucosa, mucosa to blood. Okay, na? It is depends upon their concentration gradient. It is depends upon concentration gradient. From means all these substances from higher concentration goes to lower concentration. That's why this is also called as simple diffusion. It is not required any energy, so it is called passive transport. As it is not taking any energy, means it is not utilizing ATP, so that's why it is called passive transport, because it is a movement of solutes from higher concentration to lower concentration. So in the passive transport, what happens means this green color zone is lumen of small intestine. Here glucose, galactose, amino acids, certain chloride ions, electrolytes, chloride ions, certain electrolytes are moving into the mucosa. From the mucosa they are taken into the blood without utilizing any energy. This movement is called as passive transport or simple diffusion. Okay guys, come on, once again. Glucose, galactose, amino acids, certain electrolytes like chloride ions are enters into the mucosa. From the mucosa they are taken into the blood circulation without utilizing any energy. This is called passive transport or simple diffusion from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, have a glance please. Next slide. Active transport. The previous slide is passive transport. This is active transport. Here what happens, the process of absorption takes place against to their concentration gradient. Against to their concentration gradient. Means here movement of solutes takes place from lower concentration to higher concentration. Lower concentration to higher concentration. Against to the concentration gradient. That's why it is utilizing some amount of the energy in the form of ATP. That's why it is called as active transport. Active transport means the movement of the solutes from the lower concentration to higher concentration against to their concentration gradient. As they are moving their concentration gradient against, so they are utilizing some amount of the energy in the form of ATP. That's why it is called active transport. In this manner, glucose, amino acid and sodium ions. Glucose, amino acids and some amount of the sodium ions are taken into the mucosa to the blood. Okay guys, this process of absorption takes place against to their concentration gradient by utilizing the energy. That's why this is called as active transport. Okay, chloride ions are taking passive transport, sodium ions are taking active transport. You remember that point. Okay, right. Okay, next. Facilitated transport. The third process is called facilitated transport. Passive transport, simple diffusion without utilizing energy. Active transport, it is the process of transport by utilizing ATP. Here, facilitated transport. What is a facilitated transport means? The transport of these substances are mediated by certain ions like sodium. Okay, guys. Here, what happens? Sodium present in mucosa helping in pumping of these food substances in an active manner. That is called facilitated transport. The absorption takes place with the help of the carrier ions such as sodium. Means for the absorption of fructose and amino acids. You remember fructose in specific are taken into the mucosa to the blood with the help of mediated by the carriers by the sodium ions. So this is called as facilitated transport. In the facilitated transport is an active process which is used as carrier, means here sodium ions are used as carriers. Here fructose and amino acids are entering into the mucosa to the blood with the process of facilitated transport. Okay, guys, have a look. Okay, next please. Osmosis. Okay, the absorption of water takes place by means of osmosis. Everybody knows that osmosis is a process of movement of the water from high water potential to low water potential. Okay, the movement of the water from high water potential to low water potential through semi-permeable membrane to maintaining isotonic condition is called as osmosis. Okay, here what happens, the water present in the lumen of the small intestine as well as the large intestine also enters into the mucosa to the blood by the process of osmosis without using any energy. Okay, guys, the water absorption takes place into the blood by means of osmosis. Okay, we have completed absorption of carbohydrates. We have completed absorption of amino acids. We have completed absorption of sodium and chloride. We have completed absorption of water also. What is the remaining is the absorption of fatty acids is the most complicated content. Okay, let us discuss about fatty acids absorption. Take a glance before that. Okay, come on please. Next, is it clear? Hope this is very clear, I think. Okay, from this slide is very clear, right? This is explains about absorption of fatty acids. The fatty acids absorption takes place in a different path. Why? Because they are very large in the size when compared with glucose and amino acids. So the fatty acids cannot be directly absorbed into the blood. The fatty acids are absorbed into the lymphatic system through separate pathway. That's why have a look. Okay, please be concentrate here. These are end products, fatty acids and glycerols. In the lumen of small intestine, this is. In the lumen of the small intestine, fatty acids and glycerols, by the action of bile salts, they are modified into small droplets. They are called as micelles. They are called micelles. Okay, na? The droplets of the fatty acids and the glycerols by the action of the bile salts are called as micelles. Okay, na? Micelles are formed in the lumen of the small intestine. These micelles are taken into the mucosa. This yellow colored structure is called a cell, a mucosal cell, mucosal epithelium. These micelles are taken into the mucosa by the process of simple diffusion. Micelles are taken into the mucosa by the process of simple diffusion. When they are taken into the cells, a group of micelles are covered with a protein coat. This red color structure is a protein coat. Okay? Some micelles are union with protein coat, then it is called chylomicron. The chylomicrons are formed in the mucosa cell. The micelles are formed into chylomicrons in the mucosal cells. The chylomicrons are taken into the lymphatic system by the process of exocytosis. By means of exocytosis, the chylomicrons are enters into the lacteals. The lacteals are opening of the lymphatic ducts. They are openings of the lymphatic ducts which are present in the villi. So here the chylomicrons are enters into the lacteals. From the lacteals they are enters into the left thoracic lymphatic duct. Chylomicrons enters into the left thoracic lymphatic duct through lacteals. From there the lymph is called chyle because the lymph is an emulsion of chylomicrons. That's why the lymph present in the thoracic duct region is called as chyle. The lymph is called chyle. Why? Because the lymph is an emulsion of chylomicrons in the thoracic duct. So it is called as chyle. The chyle is opens into the blood vessel at left side. It is a left subclavian vein. The thoracic duct is opens into the left subclavian vein. Means the chylomicrons are enters into the blood vessels at a subclavian vein. The walls of the subclavian veins are called as endothelial cells. The endothelial cells of these blood vessels are secreting an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. What it is called? Lipoprotein lipase, which is breaking the chylomicron again into fatty acids and glycerol in the blood. Okay guys, please once again, we are discussing about the absorption of the fatty acids. The absorption of the fatty acids is a different pathway. Why? Because it cannot be directly absorbed into the blood circulation as they are large in the size. They can be absorbed into the lymphatic system through separate openings called lacteals. Here, the fatty acids and the glycerols in the lumen of the small intestine are formed into small droplets. They are called as micelles. By the action of the biles, they are modified into micelles. The micelles are taken into the mucosal cells by means of simple diffusion. All this yellow colored mentioned structure is called mucosal cell. It is a gathering of micelle cells having a protein coat. The protein coated fat globules are called as chylomicrons. Okay, here micelles are modified into chylomicrons in the mucosal cells. These chylomicrons are taken into the opening of the lymphatic ducts are called as lacteals by means of exocytosis. You remember, micelles taken into the mucosa by means of simple diffusion. The chylomicrons from the mucosa taken into the lacteals by means of exocytosis. Right? From the lacteals, the chylomicrons are enters into the thoracic duct. In the thoracic duct, the lymph is emulsion with chylomicrons. That's why in that locations, the lymph is called as chyle. Okay, guys? Right. This chyle reaches the blood circulation through the left subclavian vein. Okay, the thoracic duct is opens into the left subclavian vein. The walls of the left subclavian vein secreting certain enzymes, they are called lipoprotein lipases. Means these lipases again break down the chylomicron. When compared with micelles, chylomicrons are large. So the chylomicrons again break down into fatty acids as well as glycerol. Okay, in the blood, in the subclavian vein, again chylomicrons are modified into fatty acids and glycerol. This is in the blood. Okay, through the blood circulation, glycerols and fatty acids are enters into the liver as well as adipose tissue. There they are modified into tissue fat or neutral fat or triglycerols. Okay, guys, here what happens? Chylomicrons are break down into fatty acids and glycerols in the left subclavian vein by the action of lipoprotein lipase enzyme by the walls of these blood vessels. These fatty acids and glycerols in the blood reaches to the liver as well as and adipose tissue. There they are modified into tissue fat as well as neutral fat. Okay, guys, please take a look. Okay, guys, please serious in these steps. Be serious in these steps. This is the lumen of the small intestine. After completion of the digestion, fatty acids and glycerols are modified into small micelles by the action of the bile salts. These micelles are taken into the mucosal epithelium by the process of simple diffusion. In the mucosal cells, the micelles are grouped and gathered with a protein coat. A protein coat fat globules are called as chylomicrons. The chylomicrons are formed in the mucosal cells. You remember, micelles are formed in the lumen of the small intestine. Chylomicrons are formed in the mucosal cells. The chylomicrons from the mucosa enters into the lacteals through exocytosis. The lacteals are opening of the lymphatic ducts. These are opens into the left thoracic duct. In the left thoracic duct, the lymph is having huge quantity of chylomicrons. So the emulsion of the lymph in the thoracic duct is called as a chyle. This chyle is enters into the blood vessels through left subclavian vein. when the chylis enters into the left subclavian vein, immediately the walls of the subclavian vein secreting lipoprotein lipase and enzyme. This enzyme is break down the chylomicrons into fatty acids, again glycerols. So again in the blood circulation you can see fatty acids and glycerols which are seen in the small intestine. These molecules traveling to the liver and adipose tissue through blood circulation, through the blood they are enters into the liver and adipose tissue. They are modified into tissue fat as well as neutral fat. Okay guys, today's class we have discussed about the process of absorption in the mouth, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Technically the absorption of carbohydrates, proteins, fats and water and the minerals absorption also completed. The absorption is a very technical process. That's why be thorough with practicing with this terminology. Okay, have a good time. Thank you very much. Right, bye.